Continuing then with Alegant and McLean, there'll be 4 more questions, and again I'll make some guiding summary observations to help lead into those. On page 39 then, let's say this, that in a post-tonal context, the authors say that enlargement will entail their first foundational belief, that is match, but it will not necessarily involve fit. So in a post-tonal context, enlargement will entail match, but not fit with regard to the surrounding harmonic context. So questions 3 and 4 dealt with the first 2 examples that the authors introduce in the text. Here is now question 5, and this relates to example 3. They have 6 versions of enlargement that show their belief that match but not fit applies to enlargement in a post-tonal context. So this is example 3. So what I want to know is this. How is the enlarged tetrachord related to the initial tetrachord in example 3c? So this is specific to example 3c. How does the enlarged tetrachord relate to the initial tetrachord that is being enlarged? That's a specific relationship. Perhaps work out the set class. You'll need to put them in normal form and then work out what the relationship is between those 2 versions of that set class. But it should be very easy to work out what the relationship is once you get them into normal form. Okay. Question 6. What reason do Alegant and McLean give for the avoidance of a pitch class palindrome at the opening of Webern's Opus 5, number 4 for string quartet? So this is the 5 movements for string quartet by Webern, composed I think around 1909. Why do they say that Webern avoids what would obviously turn out to be a strict pitch class palindrome? They give a reason for that. So Webern avoids literal symmetry. Why does he do this? And then 2 more questions to end. Question 7. A multi-level series of rotations involving prime, inverted, retrograde, and retrograde inverted transformations is ultimately controlled by individual pitch classes within Ruth Crawford Seeger's diaphonic suite number 1, movement 3. So looking around page 47, what term do Alegant and McLean give to these focal components? So they see that the larger sort of transformational logic is determined by a set of focal pitch classes, but they give a single word descriptor to those pitch classes. What is the descriptor? Single word. And question 8. So moving ahead to page 49. The same term, so the answer to question 7 now rolls over into question 8, is also applicable to Schoenberg's use of a hexachordally combinatorial series area in the Piano Concerto Opus 42. So this is example 8b I am looking at now. Noting that when a series is linked to the letters A and B, the A stands for pitch class 10 or B flat, and the B stands for pitch class 11 or B natural. So keep that in mind. When you see a series form that has A or B, it really means it either begins or ends with B flat or B natural. So this question is in 2 parts, and here's the question segment. Question 8a. How many of these focal tones are used to define the form? How many of these focal tones, and of course I'm missing out the word that I would need for the answer to question 7, how many of these focal tones in the Schoenberg are used to define the form of the piano concerto as it spreads out in time? So that's 8a. 8b. Which tone is not given what they call thematic statement in the transition passage? Which tone is not given a thematic statement in the transition passage? Instead, they see the music as fragmenting, or they use Schoenberg's term liquidation. That is, the characteristics of the music are just gradually erased, Schoenberg said, to create a sense of a formal unit actually reaching its conclusion, and this he termed liquidation, where its key rhythmic features, its key pitch features are gradually erased. They gradually become less and less distinctive as a formal unit comes to an end. So I want to know which focal tone is not given a thematic statement in the transition passage. Okay, so those are the questions, and I hope that you find that helpful. I've actually reduced the amount of commentary or guidance from my point of view, because I do think this is about the simplest article we've tackled. So hopefully, a couple of things: you'll find it relatively easy to complete the rest of the article yourself, but also up to this point, you've not found it too challenging. There's not a lot of technical detail here. I think it's pretty much possible for everyone to work independently, but do let me know. So I can come out with some more videos next week if you want me to work through the rest of the article, but essentially I think you'll be good to go working independently. So I'm going to send this now. Probably think about some answers coming in on Monday, if you can manage that by, say, 1 p.m, and then I know whether or not I need to think about making tracks to get some more video content prepared, possibly by Tuesday. All right, thanks very much. This has not been an easy week. It's a matter of, for all of us, whether we're TAs or faculty, just trying to make sure that the courses we have run something like intelligibly. The means by which we're trying to transmit this information is anything but perfect, so a lot of patience, a lot of understanding on all sides is very, very important. Okay, so I'll send this now, and hopefully you'll be able to see it by, well, certainly 2 p.m. on Friday. That's the 27th of March. Okay, have as good a weekend as is possible to have, and I'll wait to hear from you now, probably by the middle of Monday, 1 p.m. All right, thanks again. Bye.